by
Right.
staying in this meeting, by continuing in the meeting, you're consenting to be recorded.
And
Hit
it's on.
continue.
It's going.
Thanks, Jenny.
You're welcome.
Today we are talking about how to use a video that you've recorded in Zoom and maybe a transcript or even an audio file and moving it to YouTube or Google Drive to be shared with your students or whoever needs to see it. I have recorded a short sample video and I'm going to walk you through the process, but we're a real small group, so feel free to unmute yourself and ask questions if you need to. All right, you'll see on my screen I have 2 emails from Zoom. When I've gone through the recording process, hit record, hit stop, and did your meeting, and you have a recording ready, Zoom will send you an email that your cloud recording's ready. It has a link in it that you can share with others, and this will stay available for 240 days. This link for the host simply brings you to your Zoom page where if you've signed in, you'll be signed in, or it may ask you to sign in, and it'll bring you to your recordings page. The main recordings page shows a list of all your recordings, but the link I clicked brought me directly to the recording that I did the other day. You'll see if you simply hit play, it'll bring you to the page where the video will play and where the transcript goes down the right-hand side. So in Zoom, the video and the transcript are 2 different files, but on the Zoom cloud, they bring them together. They put the video on the left part of the screen and the audio transcript on the right side of the screen. If you've also recorded the chat, or if you haven't recorded a transcript and only the chat, there will be another tab up here for the chat if you've recorded the chat, and you can switch over and read the chat as well in the Zoom cloud while you're watching. But in the event that you want this to be available for more than the 240 days that Zoom will host it, you'll need to find another place that'll host it. I recommend YouTube. YouTube is a streaming server. And I'll say I recommend YouTube for videos that don't have students in them. YouTube's a streaming server. It's meant to upload and download large files. It's meant to share files that are streaming files so that people can watch them in real time. Sakai is not. Sakai is a learning management system, and so you don't want to upload your videos themselves to Sakai. Google Docs is also, it's not a streaming server per se, but it's able to host large files, and if you know how to use Google Drive and the sharing options, you can share a video in Google Drive just like you can share a video or a Word doc or a Google Doc or a PDF or anything like that. But we're going to go through today how to download your video and your transcripts from Zoom and how to post it on YouTube. And then we'll go over how to download your video into Google Drive and how to change the sharing settings so that the right people can watch them. Everyone's muted, but if anybody has a question at this point, make sure I cover something that you're interested in. Please feel free to unmute yourself and let me know.
I just wondered if you can make your screen when you start doing all that larger, because I can't see a lot.
Okay. Tell me, is this better? Can you read that better or no?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. It was just the Zoom video screen, but I'll try to make it.
I know,
bigger.
but the first one you shared also, I was just having a hard. I'm sitting here doing
Okay.
this and I still can't see it. So.
Okay.
Thank you.
Also, under view options at the top of your screen, you can zoom in if the font is too small, but do let me know, because if it's true for everybody, I'd rather make my font bigger and make it easier for people to see. In fact, I'll make my font a little bit bigger. I'm hitting Control and plus in my web browser, and that makes my font a little bigger within the web browser screen.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is the main file that I clicked when Zoom sent me the email. And you can download all 3 files in a bunch. You'll see I have a shared screen with the speaker view. I have a shared screen without the speaker view, and I have a transcript. And what I usually use is just the shared screen. So when I download that, I just save it to my desktop. And this is where I name the video, just so I can keep track. This was a video on customizing AU Direct buttons. And I usually call it video. That's just my naming practice. And then when I download the transcript, I do the same thing. You'll see it's a VTT file. I don't know what the V stands for, but the TT is for timed transcript. So I name this the same way. Customizing AU Direct buttons transcript. So I know which file is which. Okay. Now I am going to show you my desktop. Now I have these 2 files on my desktop. One is a VTT file, and one is the MP4 file of the video. I'm not going to do anything with the video, but I do want to show you the VTT file. When you double click it, mine just opens in Note tab. I'll make the font a little bit smaller. And you see all it is a timed transcript. It numbers each section. It puts at what time in the video the words were spoken, which person spoke them, and this is based on what their name is named, and then the text after it, and then it breaks into section. So you'll see it may not be quite perfect. You can come in here, it's just a text file. You can, these are the ones I use frequently. You can put in a period if there should be punctuation on there. You can, like I often will remove my name so that it's not in every screen so that people don't have to read that every time. Makes it a little bit easier to read shorter captions. And all I'm doing is highlighting and deleting in Word, in WordPad or in Notepad. It's just a text document. So once you have your transcript just the way you like it, you just save it and close it. And then what I do, I'm going to use my academic technology account. And once I'm logged into AU Direct, YouTube is owned by Google. So just by virtue of having an AU Direct account, we also have a YouTube account. If I'm logged into AU Direct, you'll see it knows that I'm AUAT. I'm logged in as that. And you can go look at down here, you can go to your channel. You don't have to go to your channel, but this is what our channel is with all of our videos on it. Just want to be able to see you guys. Anytime you're ready to upload a new video, you just click this plus video camera icon, and it allows you to, this is where you would post a live feed, which we don't do really, but just upload a regular video, and a dialog box will come up. And you can select the file from your computer, or you can drag and drop it. Since I can't see the background, I'm just going to get my video, and you'll see it starts moving and it's uploading. This video is only 2 minutes long, so hopefully it won't take too long. And then you get this dialog box that it walks you through all the things you need to set. So customizing your AU Direct buttons. You could say this video, if you want a description, is for Antioch University students, staff, and faculty who have AU Direct 2.0. All right, while it's loading, the thumbnails won't be available. You won't be allowed to pick one. But if you had a cover photo that you wanted, if you had built a slide, you could upload a thumbnail. I'm going to wait until this video renders, and then I'm going to pick one of the best thumbnails that they offer me to use here. I have playlists in my account. You don't have to. But if this video belonged to the Zoom for Students playlist or the Google Tips playlist, or another playlist, you could select which playlists you want this video to be a part of. In this case, I don't want it to be Sakai student tutorials. I'll leave it out. It's very important here that you select no, it's not made for kids, if it's not made for kids. This is part of the COPPA laws, that the Children and Online Privacy and Protection Act. If you say, yes, it's made for kids, it won't be allowed to be in any sort of paid searches. You can't have any advertising on it, things like that. And if you say, no, it's not made for kids, it can be used for advertising purposes. In our case, we just say no because we want to be really clear. This is intended for adults. And I always choose more options here. Under more options, I look for upload, subtitles, and closed captions, and this is where I'm going to select my VTT file that I downloaded with my transcript. Our transcript has timing in it, so when I hit continue, it'll just let me go and pick the file from my computer. And you'll see now I have closed captions labeled English by you, meaning English, and they were uploaded by me. You can put a recording date in if you want. I did this today. You can give it a location. Standard YouTube license or Creative Commons. I usually use it as standard. I chose my category as education, but you can choose whatever category makes sense for you. And because these are training videos and they're not really meant for the public, I disable comments. I assume that if any of you have comments about my video isn't working or needs help, that you'll email me or something like that, because I don't check my YouTube comments very often. On the next screen, you'll see that this has come up here. And this is a good cover screen because it looks like AU Direct 2.0. So I've selected that thumbnail back at the top. And I'm going to say next. I'm not going to add an end screen, but if you wanted to add an end screen that said, for more information, please contact at@antioch.edu, you could upload a photo or a piece of video here to put it on the end of your video. And then this is where you choose how it's going to be published. I generally publish as unlisted. Public means everyone can see it. If someone Google searches YouTube videos of AU Direct 2.0, it could come up in the Google search. If someone goes to YouTube and searches the YouTube homepage for AU Direct 2.0, it could come up. I'm not interested in the whole world having access to our tutorials. I don't mind if they get access, but I list them as unlisted so that only if I link them to our Sakai sites, or if I send the link to someone via email, those are the people who can see the video. I do it just for safety and security, so I'm not accidentally sharing anybody's face, or when anybody speaks on my videos, they're not out there. Private is difficult because you have to then identify every YouTube user who would be allowed to see it. And not all of our students or faculty or staff have ever activated their YouTube account. So unlisted is sort of the best option for anyone with the URL can see it. I don't schedule, and I just hit save. So in this one process, I have uploaded a video, I have uploaded a transcript, and YouTube has paired them together so that they're timed and the words play at the same time. And now it's given me the link to my video. It's available immediately. So you can just copy that link. And it brings you back to your videos dashboard where you can go and view your video. You have to click on this one. And you can see how it looks. Give me, I don't think you'll be able to hear it. Yes, no. But I can turn on closed captions. All right, so that's viewing your actual video. That video is now live on YouTube. And all I need to do to share it with my class or my students is to jump into AU Direct, go to Sakai. I've copied the URL that YouTube gave me. Here's my sample class that I can go into. And on my, I'll just put it on my, I'll add a lessons page. Lessons pages are just for holding any sort of content you want to share with your students. And there are a couple of ways to do it. The easiest way is to simply, I'll add some text comments, just a heading for this page, which will say video tutorials. I'll make it a heading and save it. And right below that, I will use the embed content on page. So one of the reasons I like YouTube is because you can use this embed feature. All you have to do is click and add the embed tool, paste in the URL and hit save. And suddenly your video is linked to your page. They can watch it right in your Sakai page. They don't even have to link out to YouTube and watch it in another window. They can watch it right in here. You can also edit this window if you want it to be a little bit smaller, not quite so overwhelming on your page. You can make it smaller. You can put instructions. Below it or whatever. And when you update, you'll see that changes the width of the video and it puts some text underneath it. So for me, if I need a video for longer than 240 days, this is the next easiest solution. All right, I want to take a minute and see if anybody has any questions. Torin would like a short review of all the steps. And I actually have a tutorial on our AT page. All of these steps, step by step, right here on our Zoom and video page. And there are several videos on creating a Zoom video. And then over here, how to upload a video to YouTube. This is their help doc, which is much better than anything I could create because they update it every time they change the version of YouTube. So they have a little short YouTube answers page that walks you through how to add the basic info, how to choose advanced settings, and how to do all of those steps. You can even print it out in a step-by-step so you can walk through it.
Bonnie, could you show again how you made that YouTube picture smaller?
Can you be more specific? Do you mean?
You posted it in Sakai and then you said if you don't want it to be as large, you can
Okay.
do this, and it went by really fast and I didn't get it.
No problem. No problem. Okay. So when you embed content on the page, your only options are to browse to a file, which I don't want you to do because a big file Sakai won't like. I just paste in the URL. So by default, it makes it a certain width, which I think is 640 pixels. Then I just scrolled over here to the edit button to edit this widget. And I told it what width I want it to be, 500. Or you can give it height. Don't give it both because it will shrink it proportionally if you just give it the width. And that's, I also write, I wrote in here, please watch before class. So this is the edit window of my YouTube link after I've embedded it in the page.
Thank you.
No problem. All right, so this one's 400 pixels wide, nice and small. This one's 500 pixels wide. And when they play it, they can still go out to full screen. So even if you make it small on your page, it's not going to affect their viewing. They can still come in and view it full screen if you only put it small on your page, or they can watch it small.
And the full screen, they're still in, it doesn't pop them out to YouTube, is that right?
I don't know. I think this overlay tool is a YouTube window, but they don't have to sign in or do anything. It just pops it open on their screen. It maximizes it. Because YouTube is the player that it's using. This embedded video player popped open a window. It's not actually sending them to the YouTube website in a browser, though. Yes, that's true. So once you hit play, you can then hover over this full screen button and it'll bring you full screen. They can also turn on the captions here and change their settings to their playback speed if they want it to go a little bit faster. So I will do a quick, I can't do the whole thing on YouTube again because once you've uploaded a video to YouTube, it won't let you upload the same video again, but I can go through the steps and I will do that right here. So what I did was you can go to any page where you're signed in YouTube. I clicked the video button and uploaded the video. It brings you to a dialog box where you can select or drag and drop the video. So if I made this smaller, last time I selected it, this time I can drag and drop it for you. And it's going to start allowing me to do all these details that I did before. I can name the video. I can add a description. I can select a playlist, say that it's not made for kids. I can open more options. At some point in this process, it's going to say processing has stopped. This video was already in your account. But until then, I can go through and most importantly, click on the upload the things. Now, if you don't do this now, if you forget to do it, or if you want to change any of these things later, you can go back in and edit this video. You don't have to make all of these things perfect this first time through. So in this case, I just picked the transcript. It would add it. And I would turn off comments. And then I'd hit next and next. And then I usually select unlisted. If it's just you, Torn, if you're giving a professional presentation and you don't mind if the public searches it, you don't need it to be private, you could just hit public and it could be public. It's only going to be found if it's searched by the right search terms, but feel free to put it out there. But if you have students in the video, we need to be, you can't be sharing it with anybody except for the people in that video, and it probably shouldn't be shared on YouTube. Unless a student takes a video of themselves and puts it on YouTube themselves, they can do that with their own videos. You'll see down here, processing abandoned, file is a duplicate of a video you've already uploaded. So I admit, I didn't ever put videos on YouTube for a long time until I got this position. I maybe put up one. It seemed a little daunting at first. I'm happy to walk you through putting up your first video in a little one-on-one meeting or in a practice session once you've recorded it. But now that I've done this 20 times, even if after I got through my first 2 or 3, it became very easy. I wasn't so nervous about it. So I think the same would be true for you, but I can be here for your first couple if you're doing lecture notes or anything like that. So if you are not interested in YouTube, you don't want it to be out there, you just want to host it on your Google Drive, you can do that as well. I'm going to do that in Firefox because my Google Drive is attached to my bPowers account. And all you have to do is simply go to Google Drive and there are a couple of ways. I find the easiest way is to grab the video from my desktop and drag and drop it into Google Drive. Let's just see if that worked. All right, that crashed my Firefox. It might be because I'm using all my internet using Zoom. So I'm going to stop my video in hopes that I can get a little bandwidth back and it won't crash. I do have a lot of tabs open here. Deborah, do you have a question while we're waiting for my computer?
Yeah, thanks. Oh, I don't know what did that. Does it matter what kind of video you recorded on, whether it's your phone or computer or whatever?
Most videos are MP4s.
Yeah.
That's sort of the usual file type. So if you do it on your iPhone, you're going to get an MP4 video. If you get a .mov, which sometimes Apple will give you, you can convert it to an MP4, but YouTube is fine with MOV files and MP4s. It actually even converts them to a YouTube player version so that you don't have to worry about it in YouTube. If it's a .mov and you add it to your Google Drive, it's still going to be a .mov file.
Because I've only done videos from my phone. I mean, I've put it on my computer, but I've never done a video from my computer, you know.
From Zoom or from something like that.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so if you're recording yourself in Zoom like we are here, it'll be an MP4 when you download it. But if some video recording systems will give you a .mov, and both of those are very common, and there are free players for both of them, so people should be able to watch
And
both.
quality versus Zoom and phone, and they're about the same?
The quality is about your settings. The Zoom settings are quite high and I get very crisp photos, but if it's just like if you're using a camera, you can take a picture of the small or medium or large, depending on what you have your digital camera set to. The same is true with your video settings. When you look at your player, it'll say, do you want a 640 by 480? Do you want 1080p? Or do you want to take it full in 1920 pixels by 1300 pixels, whatever the numbers are. So the larger video you take, the higher settings you are when you're recording will be carried through when you're sharing. We can look at the settings on your phone.
I think I understand. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Well,
Go ahead.
I understand the part about dragging it from the desktop and the process with YouTube and onto the my drive. If I do an interview on Zoom and it's recorded, how do I get that interview that's now recorded on Zoom onto my desktop? Are you there? I lost you.
Crashed, so I just have to re-log in.
I lost you for a minute. I lost my audio.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so you can just go to your Zoom login
Mm-hmm.
and go to your recordings link over here on the left side,
Mm-hmm.
and that'll show you a list of all the recordings that were done on your meetings.
Okay, so
So
it's
these-
automatically listed.
Yes, for 240 days, and you'll see there's a countdown. It tells you how many days you have left. You'll see I'm recording right now, and I mean, Jenny pressed the recording button for me because her internet is faster, but it's recording to my account because I'm the owner of this meeting. So this is the one I did earlier today. So when I click on that, I get to this page, and this is where I hovered over the video I wanted to download and downloaded it to my desktop,
Okay.
and I downloaded the transcript. Now, the downside of Google Drive is that there's no way to embed the transcript in the video. You have to share the video as a video file, and then someone could also download and read the transcript, but they're not paired. What YouTube does for you is takes the transcript and pairs it with the video and turns it into closed captioning, which is why I like YouTube better, because true closed captioning is a better solution for meeting the needs of students with disabilities and people with different lives. Frankly, I've got someone doing a conference in my kitchen, in my living room. If her thing is on and it's talking, there's kids running around and Jack's jumping off of my bed and someone's getting, whatever's happening, I can turn on closed caption and I can see what's being said. I get better retention, better comprehension of what's happening. And I don't have any audio or disability that would require it. So not only is it better for people with a disability, it's better for people that have other distractions going on, and for people who are visual learners, better than audio learners. So that's why I choose to try to make closed captioning whenever possible. If you can't, if YouTube is just not possible, it's not working for you, Google Drive is an acceptable option as long as you upload the video and the transcript. But do know when you upload the video, it does take time. This is only a 2-minute video and it did not take very long. You'll see it's 4 megabytes. Then I'm also going to drag the transcript over here. So now those are only available to me. Andrea, did you have a question?
Yeah, I do. This is really helpful as long as you have a computer that has room to store that video that you've downloaded from Zoom. Things, whether you do it on YouTube or you do it on Drive, you have to first download it to your computer. Is there no way to go straight from the Zoom recording, or is that, I mean, other than the link that's going to expire, there's no other way you have to store it?
Google does not have an import from Zoom. You could, yes. So you only need it to be on your computer temporarily. Right. So no, there is no direct transfer. You do at some point need it on a computer. It doesn't have to be your current one. It could be your office computer. It could be somebody else's computer you're borrowing. You just need to be able to log into Zoom, download it, log into YouTube and upload it. And then you can delete those 2 files off of your desktop and you don't need to keep them.
Okay, thank you.
Does that help? Yeah.
Yeah, it just means if, right now we don't have access to our office computers, so somebody else would have to do it through our account.
Yes, you could email it to someone and they could, well, you'd have to log into Google Drive to get it into your Google Drive.
Right.
So we can troubleshoot that if you're having issues with that.
Oh, I have a faculty member who just said his computer doesn't have space, and that's what his concern was.
These videos aren't so big that it should run, this was a 2-minute video, it's 4 megabytes. Most people's computer should have 100 gigabytes of storage. If it's really old, it might need more, but it shouldn't be super huge. It's not going to be, it's going to be less than 1% of your computer space that you'd need for a video.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
but yes, but we can help troubleshoot a ways to get it. You might be able to, they might be able to get it to you in Dropbox, and then you'd have to move it for them to their Google account, that sort of thing.
Oh, okay. That's a good idea. Thank you.
Yeah. Or you can have a shared department YouTube account like we do with AT, where more than one person could know the password. All right, so these are both uploaded. So before anybody else can view them, you have to share them. In Google Drive, you can right click and hit share. And the equivalent, this is new. The share settings, these are brand new. Okay. So right now, this is restricted. This is, sorry, this is a brand new, like as of this morning, this is not what sharing looked like in Google. They changed it at noon today, or when I restarted my computer. So you can get the link. This is currently restricted to only people added can open with this link. So I'm going to change the link so that anyone at antioch.edu can view it. And I actually prefer public. Anyone on the internet with this link can view. And the reason I say that is because students are not always logged in to their Antioch account when they are, you know, if they're clicking a link to a video that you sent them an email. For security purposes, if you're only sharing it in Sakai, sharing it only with anyone at antioch.edu with the link is fine, because they have to be logged in to use Sakai, unless you own a public website like I do. AUAT, the Teaching with Technology site, is public. You don't have to be logged in to view it, which is why I use anyone. And then you just copy the link and you can return to your Sakai site. Now, copying this link is okay if you're in your Sakai sample course and you just want to link to the video. It is not easy to embed a video that's in Google Drive. The best thing you can do is to link to it. Watch this video on AU Direct 2.0. So I just put in my text, I highlight it, I click the link button, and I paste in my link and I say okay. When I hit save, students can, I can, you can click on this link and it will open the video in your web browser window. And you can play it from here. Now, I don't think that I will be shocked. Yeah. All right. So you'll see, even though I click the subtitle and closed caption button, there are no captions in this version of the video. What you'd have to do is to go back to your Google Drive, be done sharing that one, share the transcript the same way with the same people. So change it so that anyone with the link can view it. Copy the link, go to your sample course, edit your text, and then maybe make a new link to the transcript of the video. Highlight it, click the link button, paste. Okay. Then you could move it up here. It's a little finicky about the beginning and end of the links. All right, so there's the video, there's the transcript. I hit save, and then they'd have to open the transcript up in a new window as well to be able to read the transcript. That's the difference between what is a transcript and what is closed captioning. So in this case, I would just download it and open it in my text reader file. And then I'd have to open it here from my desktop. So it's not as convenient as having the embedded transcript. One other thing you can do is when you click on your video from Google Drive and you get to here, if you click these 3 dots, you have this feature called Embed Item. You can copy this embed code, go into your text block here, and I just want to give you fair warning. This is the embedded version of the video. I'm just putting a heading on here. Then you have to go into the source code and paste in the embed code that you copied. This is the slightly more difficult way of embedding a non-YouTube or non-Vimeo video. It works just fine. It's just a little bit more work for the faculty member. And then you could play it in here, but still no transcript. So that's a lot of content, and I am happy to go back over some things, answer your questions, or if you have anything related. All right, I'm going to stop the recording, but I am going to stay on